Well, these are Twitter questions from fans. There's not many, there's just a few.
No problem.
Which we've asked them this morning.
Let me help.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
This is from @Darren_Chandler.
Yeah.
Who's the toughest player you played against for Gills in the Championship?
Toughest player. I'd say I always used to have. Like I say, I used to really enjoy playing against sort of the top players at that level, but I always used to have a tough game against Nathan Blake. He used to play for Wolves. He's the strongest man in the world, and I think that's probably where I've learnt over the years. I always used to get in a bit of a tussle with him, try and sort of out-muscle him, which never happened. So and I learned through that. I mean, Jason Roberts is another one who physically quite strong lads. I didn't mind the big uns, I was always a decent header of the ball and stuff like that, and quick I was reasonably, so it was more the physical players, certainly their stature always used to give us a tough old game, but yeah, I mean, it's good forwards at that level, probably Nathan Blake I think probably I didn't play so well against him a couple of occasions did alright, but yeah, there's a couple of games that stood out against Wolves where he probably turned me over a bit, to be fair.
Cool. It's from @Michael Pilcher.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to mention individual names, but who would you say was your best essential defensive partner while at the club?
God,
Very tricky.
So tricky. It's really hard. I mean, Adi Pennick, unfortunately, was struggling with injuries. I mean, I enjoyed playing with Ade when he was fit, but I can't really separate between Ash and Guy because they were very similar in the way they went about it. I mean, we played a lot together as a back three. We tended to play sort of three at the back with two. Certainly in them early years. So, to sort of leave one out would be a bit harsh. But I learned so much off them, and I think that the biggest thing is that we played hard, but we played with a smile on our faces. The Guy and Ash and myself, I think we're sort of the type of guys who will get stuck in, but during the game we'll find the lighter moments to have a little bit of a laugh about it as well. Some of these games I'm playing Blackburn away, which sort of sticks out in my mind, and we were down to 10 men and they had like Mark Hughes and all them, and they were sort of the best in the league at the time. This first season I was here. I think Hesse scored and there was no goal in the second half, and they just brought loads of it. And like we went up for a corner, as we were coming back, Ash is like giving it do, and he's getting 10 hats on and all that sort of thing, and Guy, but it was just comments like that. He said even that when you're up against it, and the enjoyment I got playing with them two at the back was and the experience I got from both, and both gave me great advice. But it'd be harsh to single one out. I think the pair of them I enjoyed playing with the most, to be fair.
Okay. From @Bobster86. If you thought the last one was difficult, this one's very tricky.
Right.
Can you name your all-time Gillingham 11 that you played with?
Oh God, that is tricky. I'd say probably Vinny in goal. I'd probably say, oh God, I'd have to go for. I'd probably go the same. I think them early, like I said, that early team was probably hard to beat. So I'd probably say that myself, Ash and Guy, left back. Probably say we had Edgy at the time. Tough one between Pato and Nairon, but maybe go Pato with that one. To be fair, again experience. Midfield, Smithy, Sondo. Again, you've got Ty Good and Marcus Brown in, but Sam Nosbaum come to the club, and Ozzy was a good player. I liked him. So maybe Ozzy in there, and then that's a bloody nightmare. I'd have to, you'd definitely have to have Kingy and Shoy in amongst it, and then there's Big If and Sabs and
there's a few, aren't there?
But yeah, probably Kingy and Shoy, to be fair. But if he'd never speak to me ever again, I don't think. But I'd have to go for them too, I reckon. So.
And finally, from Dom GFC Ballard, who did you look up to in the footballing world when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, that's a good question. I think I'm not a Man U fan, but early when I was a kid, well, my dad used to play, so obviously I had a lot of good advice for me, and obviously I've certainly looked up to him. But I was sort of like Brian Robson, you know, the way he went about things and stuff like that. He was probably, when I was at school, one of my favourite players. You know, just how he sort of went about the pitch. He's 100%, wasn't he? And he's a good player. He scored a lot of goals, and you know, sort of really looked up to. He's probably a figure that, you know, I don't know, the kids probably look up to Rooney or Ronaldo or whatever now. So at the time, he was in his prime, and you know, playing well for Man United, and obviously earlier for West Brom and England captain and all that sort of thing. So it was probably him. But I'm a Middlesbrough supporter, so I've always liked Gary Pallister. So as a centre half as well, I'd go to watch the Borough and watching Gary Pallister, and he's obviously gone to Man U. So yeah, I suppose as a kid, they're probably the two that I'd sort of maybe, you know, look to sort of emulate. Maybe Robson more attitude wise, and Pallister more as a centre half. You know, so just wish I had his pace.
Cool. Thanks very much, Chris.
No,
Cheers,
mate.
mate.
Alright, it's cool.